Welcome back to Hannity. So for years, many on the alt-left, well, hate Trump media, including some of America's top elected officials, they've used very divisive rhetoric to smear conservatives and anyone they disagree with, anyone that disagrees with their worldview. Watch this.
Republican leaders and President Trump don't give a about the people they were trying to hurt.
This is a bunch of scumbags. That's what they are.
If you accept the support of Klan sympathizers before you are president, you will accept their support after you're president.
He, along with people like Bachmann, are Tea Party. They are anarchists.
What we're not for is negotiating with people who have a bomb strapped to their chest. We're not going to do that.
He's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
You got their plan, which is let's have dirtier air, dirtier water, less people with health insurance.
They are in favor of affirmative action if you can dunk the basketball or sink a three-point shot. But they're not in favor of it if you merely have the potential to be a leader in your community.
Now, liberals, they can try and silence, smear, slander their critics, but as I have reiterated many times, this show is not going to be intimidated by the language of the left. Joining us now, the host of Michelle Malkin Investigates, CRTV, Michelle Malkin. This is not new to us. We both have had pretty big bullseyes on our back for many, many years, but I don't think it's ever been this bad, and I'm just not going to take lies, slander, and smear anymore. And that's why I'm fighting back. I hope for all of us. This isn't about me, Michelle.
Amen. I'm with you, brother, and I really think it's about time that we draw that big, bright red line. Because if we do not, as a movement, fight back and push back against this concerted effort to stifle conservative speech, to demonize and marginalize conservatives in this country, we're going to end up losing. I mean, in one sense, it does seem so bizarre because, of course, the Republican Party has control of the White House and both chambers of commerce. How is it that this hateful movement on the left seems more dominant than ever? And of course, we've been paying attention and covering the modern political progressive movement since the Reagan era. Why is that? Well, it's because so many of the dominant cultural institutions in this country have an iron grip on them from the left. And so the attacks on us from Hollywood, in the courtrooms, in deep state of government, the every crevice of the federal government that has been infested with people who hate our values, who hate our principles and policies. You know, and of course college campuses as well, Sean. It is all of a piece. It's a historical movement. It's more relentless than it has ever been, for sure.
I would never in my lifetime, if I don't like the speaker, I won't go. I would never let Bill Maher say anything he wants. I don't care. I would never support a boycott of Rachel Maddow or Don Lemon. You know, let the viewers decide. Let them decide who they want to watch or not watch. To me, this boycott now has become the weapon to intimidate phony boycotts. You know, 5,000 people actually are really 300, and they make advertisers nervous. But it's all to really silence, shut down, intimidate people from saying what they want to say. This is dangerous. Yes. At the end of the day, this is dangerous for the country. And I don't know conservatives that support boycotts. I don't support boycotts.
Well, in general, my view as a practitioner of the First Amendment, that the answer to bad speech and speech with which we disagree is more speech and better speech. But there is a certain part of me that feels that in some cases you do have to do political jujitsu and organizational jujitsu on some of these groups. I think that using some of the social media platforms, in many cases ironically created by leftists who hate us, is sometimes the most effective and powerful way to fight back against them. And you have shown that with your own Twitter feed and social media, and using every platform that you have to call these people out. The thing that they love most is when they smell blood and weakness, Sean, and that's why the stand.
You think they smell blood now?
Yeah, and that's what.
Because I think they do.
Absolutely, and you know what? They do, and this is why I think so many of us as Americans who fought on the right for so long have been frustrated by people in Washington, the Republican establishment, who time and time again, year after year, fold in the face of these kind of organizational tactics. And so to the extent that those of us who work outside of the partisan sphere in Washington, D.C. can do demonstration projects and show that, yes, you can fight back, it's important because I think, Sean, another very important point is it's not just the leftist partisan ideologues and the Alinskyites that are operating here, okay? There are a lot of tools who are supposedly our allies on the right, who are willing to serve as saboteurs.
That hated our support, for example, of the president, and don't want to admit that they were wrong, and, oh, Trump can't win, he'll never appoint a conservative Supreme Court justice. The more fascinating thing to me is there are people paid, and I know who they are, and they sit in their underwear. Like, can you imagine what a loser you must be if your job is to monitor Sean Hannity's every word 4 hours a day and then try and catch him saying something that you can use against him to get him off the air? But that is happening to every conservative on Fox, writers, bloggers, radio hosts. It's happening to everybody. This is now a well-funded, orchestrated campaign to destroy and silence voices.
Yes, it's the politics of personal destruction in the 21st century. And yes, there are these social media trackers. This happens to political candidates in the Republican Party as well, who now have trackers assigned to them, even if they're at the very local level. You know, school board candidates have faced this. So it's everyone from local candidates all the way up to Fox News personalities. And, you know, I think the best thing, of course, is not to give these people any more ammunition than they're already manufacturing against us. But I think the montage that you showed was especially important, too, because this isn't just the fringe. It's not just leftist loons at UC Berkeley or Fresno State or Middlebury or in some Hollywood salons that are doing this. It is the very core of the Democratic Party here that is undermining the free speech rights of conservatives in America.
All right, well said. A great admonition and warning. I hope people pay attention. And we're going to fight back here on this program. Thank you.